Just going to give it another minute and we'll get started here pretty shortly. Thank you for joining us tonight. Ali, I see you're on. If you can just give us a quick mic check, just in case. We don't anticipate calling on you, but just good to have in case. Okay. Okay, we have a good crowd here. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna pass it off to Stu to get us kicked off, and I'll reintroduce myself as my portion comes up. Okay, go
Right.
ahead, Stu.
Well, welcome everybody. It's a pleasure having you on the call. I'm Stu Fullendorf. I'm the senior pastor of Redemption Hills Church, and we have other members of the team I will be introducing. This is a virtual community meeting. The project is Redemption Hills Church request for a special use zoning permit for religious use in this commercial zone. The property is 6004 South Kipling Parkway in Littleton. And as part of the process today in the meeting, if you have questions, you can actually submit your questions, your Q&A. There's a button at the bottom of the screen that you'll see. You can submit your questions, and we can see your questions, and we'll utilize the time after this meeting to answer any question that you might have. Let me just quickly set the framework for the agenda today so you know what to expect. I'll be introducing just a couple members of our user team, the Redemption Hills team, and other members of our team, and we'll be talking about the project, putting it in context and the timeline, the proposed use, and all the next steps during this meeting today. Our team is very simply Redemption Hills Church is the user, the site user. I am Stu, the senior pastor of the church. Also speaking for Redemption Hills today will be Mort Mitchell, who is the facilities chairman and an elder in our church. We also have our team members representing our community engagement. Our consultants are the Pkwy Group Company, of whom you've already seen Jasper's one and Marcus as well. And on this call as well, we have Lee Architects, who are the architects for this project. Just a little bit about Redemption Hills Church. We are a Christian church. We are gospel centered. We are already members of the Littleton community, a growing, vibrant church. We're currently located over on Ken Carroll Boulevard between Kipling and Wadsworth. We are a non-denominational church. We believe that, as Christians do, that we're saved by grace through faith, which is a gift. And because we're non-denominational, it means that we have a body of elders that provides shepherding of our flock and direction for the ministry. And also, we're being non-denominational, we welcome people from all backgrounds, walks of life, and we accept people where they may be, wherever they are in their walk, and have a huge heart to see people's lives improved and then move out and have a huge impact, a positive impact for the community. And the source of all truth for us is, obviously, as a Christian church, is the Bible. And so that's the inherent source of truth that we always move out in and express. And you can see some pictures on this slide of what our current property looks like and the style. And during this process, if anybody would like to come visit our church, we would love to have you. Love to have you just sample who we are and see the environment and the love of the people. Also, just a little bit more on our church. We, again, without reiterating, we really believe deeply in being a resource for community. It's one of the reasons why we want to do this project. Our vision statement is to truly be a partner, an alliance for families, for 501c3s, nonprofits, for profits, working with government agencies, for good and to see communities transformed and thriving. And we want to be, a partner and a resource by which that'll happen. Our mission statement is focused on knowing Jesus, making him known, making disciples, bringing them maturity. And then the big thing why we want to do this project is moving out into our community and being a partner with all the different people in need and institutions to be a force for good for our community. I'm going to turn it over now to Jasper Vu, who's a part of the Pochner group, to tell you about our approach to community engagement.
Great. Thank you so much, Stu. Thanks for the intro. For those of you that just joined, we're still very early in the presentation. Stu just went over who Redemption Hills Church was, and I just want to talk really briefly about who I am. My name is Jasper Vu. I'm with the Pochner Company. We're a community engagement firm, and typically when we are engaged in these processes, our job is to really listen to the neighbors and talk with the developers and see what's right for both groups. So typically how we like to approach our engagement is we first want to engage with the adjacent neighbors first. And this is really just to build the transparency and continue to be good neighbors. So our adjacent targets are Foothills Greens, Kipling Sons, Townhomes, and Huntington Trails, and many more. Following this, we like to broaden our outreach. So we like to engage in a more comprehensive way. So we get the impact, the direct impact, and then as we broaden out, we get community stakeholders and regional stakeholders. So we're still early in the process. You are here today at the neighborhood meeting, and for our specific request, we have to go through an iterative referral and review process, and then it goes before Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners here. As part of that public process with the county of Jefferson County, the public notice was required. So we have first-class mailed letters to the 500-foot radius notice area. Homeowners associations within 1 mile of the property got notice as well, and we posted up signs on the property. So all this had to be done 10 days prior to the meeting, and what that resulted in was roughly around 107 residents or parcels that were notified. So you all know the site very well. It's the previous Elvis Cinemas site over here, and you have South Kipling Parkway on your left and South Jellison Street on the south side of there. Let's see here. Typically, when we go into development and entitlements, we are directed by guiding documents. So essentially, that gives us clues and ideas of what the county is looking for this specific site as they develop, as we plan to develop in the future. So for this property, our guiding documents are the Jefferson County Comprehensive Plan, which they are reworking right now. So this will be changed as the new comprehensive plan comes in, and the zoning resolution. So currently, the comprehensive plan future land use map identifies this area as commercial, and concurrently, the existing zoning is identified as commercial as well. So they're speaking to each other, they're lining up perfectly. So what does that mean? Well, essentially, commercial is identified as an intent to provide areas for low to high density commercial offices, retail services, and activities. Also in the code, they have land uses and permitted uses within those commercial zone district. So some of these uses are medical offices, businesses and professional offices, laboratory, gas stations, auto repair, restaurants, and theaters. That's why the previous Elvis Cinemas was there before. What we are coming here today to present is a special use permit to allow for the religious use. So this this religious assemblies is permitted only by special use in the commercial zoning, which is why we are here today to initiate that process. This special use it goes through a really iterative process with comprehensive review and referrals, and will go before Planning Commission and Board of County Commissioners as I reiterate that. So, why do we think Redemption Hills Church is the right partner for this neighborhood and community? We just want to touch on some points from which we think is why Redemption Hills is the right user. So the project proposal would allow for the type of use that we're trying to pursue within with the special use permit is to allow for worship, religious education, community service, office space, and Sunday service. So the scope of this specific application is to add the use to the current commercial zoning designation so that we can have these activities, these types of uses appear. Why do we think that's right in terms of the traffic and parking? Well, we currently have a shared parking agreement with the adjacent lots for peak demand. Most of our access is going to come off of South Kipling Parkway and South Jellison for smooth circulation. I think the really important thing here is compared to the theater, we believe that we have a reduced daily trips um, and the peak usage to occur mostly on the weekends. Um, and also, we believe that the peak times will be unlikely to conflict with the surrounding businesses, as most of our use will occur on the weekends. Here's some other thoughts. I did touch base really briefly on the reduced traffic and peak demands there. We do think that our use is, and our tenants are going to not have such a high noise or a light impact on this site. We are planning on utilizing the shell of the Elvis cinemas. So we're not really trying to change the character or the the character of or the environmental waste of the neighborhood. Um, like Stu mentioned really early on, we're Redemption Hills Church is a community-oriented programming, so they provide all that public benefit and charity drives and things like that. Uh, Redemption Hills is also looking for they're going to be a stabilized long-term occupancy. They're not looking to buy and flip or do any of that stuff. And last but most importantly, we believe we're the right partner for this neighborhood because of the improved site security and maintenance. And I'm going to hand it over to Mort to talk a little bit about what's been going on the site now and kind of like the resources that they utilize to um, take care of the building now. So go ahead, Mort.
Thank you, Jasper. Just a quick introduction. I'm Mort Mitchell, as Pastor Stu mentioned, the facilities manager. So I get a lot of the phone calls when things come up. So just going to go through some of the existing situations that we've had. There's 6 theater doors that open in the back of the theater. The doors have been broken into very significantly. These are steel doors. They've been pried open 2 to 3 times. We finally had to put through bolts and steel bars in there to keep the doors closed. Uh, and I'll go on to the next slide. So we also have existing trash dumpsters for the current tenants that are in the building on the other side of the theaters, and there's constant dumping in there. We have posted signs. We have put up cameras in some areas, but it really does not inhibit people from dropping off and dumping. So we have a continuous removal of trash as it comes through there, but it is unavoidable without people around the facility at this point. Okay, we also, as we continue to secure and harden the building, I'll go through some of the list of things that we have done. The roof hatch was a common access point for a lot of it seems to be a lot of young people that are coming over, and they come over there. They've actually broke the lock and the hatch a couple times, but in the previous slide, you saw that after we secured that with quite a heavy duty lock. They started breaking the windows. They've broken three of those. They are getting measured and ordered, so we will be replacing those to keep it looking appropriate for the area there. But, so it is very difficult. And picking up a little bit of feedback. But then on one of the times that they broke in, we also they expended all the fire extinguishers in the theaters in the area. So in floors 1 and 2, the lobby theaters, they basically used up all the fire extinguishers, which now have been replaced to make sure we're in code. But those have been secured so that they can't get to those as well. And oftentimes when they break in, there's graffiti left on the walls or on the chairs. We also have had multiple instances of drug use in and around. You can see on the left there was a marijuana uh, container with a pipe that was left in the theaters as well. So we know that that is happening there. We're trying to deter it as much as possible. Um, you can see this is the office space and the box office entrance into the theater. The windows were broken out going into the box office. We had them secured with plywood, similar to the windows, and those have been pried open about 3 times as well. And it continues to draw, the adventurous, I guess. Um, you can see this is posted on Instagram. They actually videotape themselves going up the gas pipe onto the roof, through the hatch, and in and around the theater. And you can see that there's 9,200 likes. So we see the same thing on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook as they have multiple challenges. From our perspective, we would rather provide different alternatives for some of the youth, and also we really don't want anybody hurt or even to pick up a record for their entrance into the theaters. So we'll go to the next slide. So what we have done is all the rear doors, as I mentioned, have been bolted through to a steel angle iron. The previous fixes that we had were not sufficient. We had some hasps on there, but that was not sufficient. We did post the signs of the dumpsters in the window areas to advertise the fact that we do have cameras up and that we have patrols. Jeffco typically gets called out each time we have a break-in. You want to go back? Sorry. So they have increased their patrols. And actually, at end of shift, a lot of times you'll find the Jeffco will fill out some of their paperwork in the theater, or the parking lot, just to be more visible. And the tenants have placed cameras in secure areas in the atrium and the theaters. And ownership has also added a drive-by patrols, and they go by there 3 times a night. So we're trying to do what we can to mitigate the vandalism in the theaters. Okay, so one of the things that we're very aware of is the resources that we're drawing upon. When Jeffco Police respond to calls to come out to clear the theater, I have a minimum of 1 to 4 patrols. Most of the time, it's 4 patrols. They're pulling 2 patrols from other areas, and again, 1 to 4 officers on each call. They take the reports, they do the fingerprints when appropriate. We've had a couple of times where they pulled the fire poles on the fire alarms. We've had to have fire department out there as well. The durations to clear the theater is about an hour for them to come out and ensure that there's nobody in the theaters. So there's additional time that they spend on report generation, investigative time when they do get fingerprints or palm prints, and then just adjudicating the cases. So we know this is a precious resource, both fire and police in our community, and we would really prefer not to have them come out. So I'll just go quickly through July's figures. So for the Jeffco Police, we've had these are the case numbers. They're all available. The last one, as you see on July 31st, we had both a alarm and an arrest warrant that was issued for somebody that had broken into the theaters. So we are utilizing the police. I'd much rather have them somewhere else. And then we also had the fire alarm case as well.
Thanks, Mort.
Okay. And
So
I'll turn it back over to Jasper. Thanks.
thank you very much. So yeah, we just wanted to show some of those figures and kind of share with you what's been going on with the building as it's sat vacant. We do think that we are the right user to help put eyes and security on the street there. So we believe that we're the right partner for that. Just a reminder, as we go through this entire process, we are still early on. This is our first neighborhood meeting. Following this neighborhood meeting, we will submit a formal application and go through the process through there. So we are committed to continue community engagement throughout the entire process. So if you do have any questions or want to reach out directly to me or Mort or Stu, feel free to just contact us over here, Jasper Vu, outreach at thepachnercompany.com. And we also have a phone number there. So with that, I know our presentation is relatively short, so we are available for Q&A. If you want to submit a question, go ahead and use that Q&A button, and I'll go ahead and read those off now. So, okay. Let me just take a look, see if I see any questions. Okay. Take care. Sorry if I still am at my office, so as people are leaving, they're saying goodbye. So, okay. Any questions out there? Any thoughts? Any comments? Feel free to write whatever you want, and we can address it appropriately. We'll give it a couple more minutes here. Okay. For those of you that are on the phone, and if you do have questions as you're sitting on the phone, feel free to give me a call, 303-825-1671. And I can certainly follow up with you there and we can address any questions that you may have. Um, I guess with that, if you do have questions, here's my email. Feel free to email me or give me a call. We'll go ahead and move on now. This meeting is recorded. So if you did miss any portion of it, I can go ahead and send it forward to you. With that, then I guess, Stu, do you want to close this out and give us any final comments here?
No,
No,
I'm
I'm very
very appreciative
appreciative
of
of
everybody
everybody
participating.
participating. And we just welcome anybody to come by our church since we're already Littleton citizens with a heart for the community and check us out. So you're always welcome.
Great. Well, well, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We'll go ahead and conclude the meeting here, and we look forward to talking with the rest of you later. Oh, it looks like we got a question in, Stu.
Okay.
Hold on, let me read this one. The question is, in a church that was previously on the property, can special use be necessary? In a church that was previously on the property, can special use be necessary? I had a question. I don't quite understand it. If you can just comment again to help me clarify your question. I don't want to get it wrong. Um,
I think the building behind us, Jasper, had a
ah,
church that was there. I don't think the uh, usage would be transferable from that building to the Elvis Theater,
mhm.
even though it was very, very close.
Let me see here. That's a great question. So I'm going back to the zoning slide. So I'm guessing the church down here, right?
Yes.
So my guess is that this is in a planned development, which is probably sits in a residential zone. Res this zoning is different effectively from our zoning. So what that means is that the church use might be allowed in this PD right here, but in the current commercial zoning, it's not allowed as a use by right. It is allowed as a special use, but the special use requires a iterative, comprehensive process, which we are going through now. So I hope that answered your question. Okay. Any more questions? Okay. I guess with that, 6 o'clock. Thank you all for joining us. If you have any additional questions, feel free to follow up with me, and we'll be in touch there. Thank you.